Uh, Jesus is omniscient, meaning that he had total knowledge of everything, and only God can be all knowing. And Jesus knows all things. And in John 16, verse 30, that is the reason the disciples said, uh, by this we believe that thou camest forth from God. And then Peter said that Jesus knew all things. That's in John chapter 21, verse 17. Only God can know all things. In John chapter 7, verses 13 through 17, Jesus taught in the temple, and the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned? And that's in John 7, verse 15. Uh, this shows that Christ was not taught by man. There is no higher authority than Jesus. And we see in Matthew chapter 7, verse 29, and Mark chapter 1, verse 22, that Jesus taught with authority. Jesus knew the history of the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, verse 29, whom he had never met before. John chapter 4, verse 18. Clearly, only God, not man, could have known that. Jesus also knew the thoughts of men, and we can see that in Luke chapter 6, verse 8, and chapter 11, verse 17, and in John chapter 2, verses 24 through 25. And Jesus even knew the one that would betray him in John chapter 6, verse 70. And then disciples knew Christ was omniscient, and that's in John 16, verse 30. Jesus predicted that his death many times, which demonstrates his omniscience. And you'll find that in Matthew chapter 16, verse 21, chapter 17, verse 22, chapter 20, verse 18 through 19, chapter 26, verses 1 through 2. Thank you for